We've got to get on to US politics now, and as you know, it's still in turmoil. I'll cross to Kristin Tate in Boston in a moment, but to get us there, let me remind you of what I showed you last night about how the Democrats and their supporters have invoked violent rhetoric against Donald Trump. Have a look at this collection that was aired by the Republicans.
If you had to be stuck in an elevator with either President Trump, Mike Pence, or Jeff Sessions, who would it be?
Does one of us have to come out alive?
Press always asks me, don't I wish I were debating him? No, I wish we were in high school, I could take him behind the gym. That's what I wish. I said, no. I said, if we were in high school, I'd take him behind the gym and beat the hell out of him.
I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country. Maybe there will be.
That you cannot be civil with a political party that wants to destroy what you stand for, what you care about.
Enemies of the state.
Yes, I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
Kristin, that's a compilation that the Republicans have put together, but it makes the point, doesn't it? There's a climate that's been created, and the Democrats have been key in creating that climate.
Yeah, nobody should be shocked to see incidents like this assassination attempt occur when left-wing leaders and media figures regularly tell their followers that Donald Trump and all of his supporters are xenophobic, white nationalist threats to democracy. This is coming from the very top. President Biden in April told the country that Donald Trump is the biggest threat to democracy. And then, of course, everyone in the media for years now have been saying that he's a racist, he's xenophobic, he's a threat, he's a threat. So, of course, there's going to be some portion of the constituents who hear this message that really takes it to heart and goes out there and takes action. And let's be clear, this kind of rhetoric was on the rise on the left long before Donald Trump came on the scene. Years ago, Bernie Sanders and Liz Warren were telling their supporters that conservatives were racist. We saw Steve Scalise get shot at a congressional baseball game. So the left has just watched their base of voters devolve into an angry mob of fools. And there's a permissive culture of violence on the left at this point.
Yeah, I've often said that nobody does hatred like the political left. It is really a hallmark of the way they conduct political debates. Donald Trump has made this point himself after this second assassination attempt was thwarted. In reference to the alleged would-be assassin, he says he believed the rhetoric of Biden and Harris and he acted on it. Their rhetoric is causing me to be shot at when I'm the one who's actually going to save the country, and they are the ones that are destroying the country, both from the inside and out. And I should also point out, Kristin, that this is a point Donald Trump made before this latest assassination attempt at the debate last week. Have a look.
She weaponized. I probably took a bullet to the head because of the things that they say about me. They talk about democracy. I'm a threat to democracy. They're the threat to democracy.
Yeah, Donald Trump just last week there, Kristin. Now, we now know that Donald Trump himself uses strong language and rhetoric, but it's not a one-way street, and it's so clear that the Democrats have got to answer this charge. They promised to lower the temperature. They've done nothing of the sort.
Of course they haven't. And this has been going on since 2016, since the day Trump was inaugurated, when police indicted more than 200 deranged left-wing rioters. The left loves this. And, you know, these leftists, they love to promote platitudes of unity and civility and bringing the country together, but they are absolutely fanning the flames of hatred. And, Chris, I'm afraid of what's going to happen in the next few months. There could very well be more assassination attempts or political violence coming from the left, especially if the leaders on the left, particularly Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, don't forcefully call for their constituents to cut it out and be peaceful and civil to those with different political opinions.
Yeah, well, the point is there's such a lack of leadership, Kristin. We saw Joe Biden, who is almost absent, really, when it comes to political leadership at the moment, let's be frank. But after the successful attempt, the shot against Donald Trump that actually made contact contact with his ear, and that shooter, of course, was taken out by the Secret Service. You'll remember, of course, Joe Biden gave an address to the nation where he said that they would be pulling back their rhetoric, that would lower the temperature of political debate in the US, and then subsequently he went on again to talk about Trump as being a threat to democracy. And then again, now after this second assassination attempt has been thwarted, we heard from the president. Have a look.
There is no, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, those of you who know me, many of you do, no place in political violence for political violence in America. None. Zero. Never. I've always condemned political violence. I always will in America. In America, we resolve our differences peacefully at the ballot box, not at the end of a gun.
Kristin, it strikes me that that is just the bare minimum. I mean, to say you condemn political violence is like saying we all need oxygen to live. It's just nothing. What's he going to do about the security detail around Donald Trump and about lowering the temperature of political debate?
The answer is nothing. And the messaging is very clear. It's not just about Donald Trump, Chris. It's about his supporters. Trump supporters all the time have their cars vandalized. My brother actually had his car vandalized because he had a Trump bumper sticker on it. We see leftists in places like Portland beating people with crowbars who they believe to be conservative. The messaging is very clear from the top, not by what's just said, but what is left unsaid. And it's a very scary situation right now. The temperature has never been higher, and I'm afraid that many on the left want that. They want to fan the flames of hatred within their base.
Yeah, the division probably suits their election agenda. Let's leave the last word to Donald Trump himself and his reflections on what occurred yesterday.
All of a sudden, we heard shots being fired in the air. And I guess probably 4 or 5. And it sounded like bullets, but what do I know about that? But Secret Service knew immediately it was bullets. And they grabbed me, and we got into the carts, and we moved along pretty good. I was with an agent, and the agent did a fantastic job. There was no question that we were off that course. I would have loved to have sank that last putt, but we decided, well, let's get out of here.
He would have loved to have sank that last putt, Kristin. I love it.
God bless Donald Trump. And, political tensions are reaching a boiling point. But God bless him for powering on and standing up to save this country.
Good on you, Kristin. Thanks for catching up again. We'll chat next week.
Thank you very much, Chris.